All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Homewood-Flossmor Vikings' fifth game of the season, and they will be taking on the Knights of Lincoln Way Central. The Knights are coming off a big walk-off win against the number 15 team in the state, the Naperville North Redhawks. On the mound for the Vikings is going to be the big left-hander, number 21, Vince Waterman. His battery mate behind the dish is going to be number 10, Preston Lund. Around the infield, you got Nico Bilgi at third, Rob Tate at short, Corey Mulling at second base, and Demir Heidelberg at first. In the outfield, you got Isaiah White, Jason Ballard, and TJ Stewart left to right. The lineup for the Knights is going to be Landon Mensick, the shortstop, Jack Novak, the left fielder, Colin Mowry, the catcher, Brandon Meyer, the center fielder, Colin Jerkadis, the first baseman, Charlie Szymanski, the third baseman, Colin Senkpeel, the DH, Liam Arsich, the right fielder, and Luke Mensick, the second baseman. Landon Mensick, the leadoff hitter for the Knights, hit a huge walk-off three-run homer to propel the Knights over the Redhawks of Naperville North on Saturday. So we're going to get this game underway here in about less than a minute, and hopefully it's going to be another Vikings win. In steps the junior shortstop, number 1, Landon Mensick. Mensick is coming off a 2-for-4 game with a big walk-off three-run home run. The first pitch from Waterman skips in there for ball 1. He had 5 of the 7 Lincoln Way Central runs accounted for to his name. Drove in 5. The 1-0 from Waterman. In there for strike 1, the first strike of the ball game for Waterman. Waterman, his last appearance, went 3 innings, allowed 2 earned runs, but that was good enough for the win. 6 strikeouts and only 4 hits. As the 1-1 is hit into right field, and that's going to be a base hit for Mensick. Stewart comes up with it cleanly, fires to Mulling as the cutoff man, holds Mensick to a leadoff single. But a leadoff single for the Knights has a runner on for the left fielder Jack Novak.
Number 2, Jake Novak.
Novak went 1 for 4 in that game against Naperville. Hit into left field on a line in front of Isaiah White. So back-to-back singles for the Knights lead things off. Waterman in a little trouble early.
Catcher number 17, Colin Mowry.
Colin Mowry steps in. He's 1 for 4 on the year, as the Knights' only game of the season was against that Naperville North squad. Waterman gets a sign. Comes set, and the pitch. Swing and a miss from Mowry. Waterman primarily has a fastball, slider, curveball mix. He'll occasionally throw that changeup. Oh and 1. No. Outside, says the umpire. Evens count at 1-1. Waterman struggled with command last year, but his only walk of the season in 3 innings pitched. Maybe he has fixed that as he falls behind Mowry 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Outside, ball 3. So Mowry threatening to load the bases for the Knights here in the top of the first. Something that the Vikings have done very well in this young season is leaving runners on base, as I should say. Check swing did not go, says a home plate umpire, so that is going to be a 3-1 walk for Colin Mowry. And that's going to load the bases for the Knights here in the top of the first.
Center fielder number 4, Braden Meyer.
Got a courtesy runner for the catcher, Mowry, as Braden Meyer steps in. Luckily for the Vikings, he's 0 for 3 on the year. But Waterman in some trouble to start this game. Bases loaded for the Knights. Upstairs, ball 1. Waterman gets a sign from Lund. Comes set. The 1-0 pitch. In there for strike 1. Now it's 1-1. The 1-1 from Waterman. Skips in there. Ball 2. Good block by Preston Lund. Holding Mensick at third. The 2-1 from Waterman. Just outside, ball 3. Waterman has to find the zone. The 3-1 pitch. In there, full count. A strikeout will be big here for the Vikings, as in one ground ball could get them out of this inning with no runs. But you got to get this strikeout first. The full count pitch. Lined into right field. Stewart to his right, and he can't come up with it. He dives and does not make the play, and 2 runs are going to score for the Knights, and a third is going to be waved around it. No, he's going to get caught in a pickle between third and home, and he's going to be tagged out between third and home. So 2 runs come in for the Knights on a single from Braden Meyer, and he advances to second on the throw. So for the first time this year, the Homewood-Flossmor Vikings are trailing in a game. Ball 1 to Connor Jerkaitis, excuse me. The first baseman went 0 for 2 with 2 walks in their first game. Waterman comes set. The 1-0 pitch. In there for strike 1. This is the first time all season that the Vikings have allowed runs in the first inning. Ball upstairs, and he is going to be gunned out at third base. No. Is he out? Yes, he is. Now he is off the base. Braden Meyer is caught stealing. Catcher Preston Lund to third baseman Nico Bilgi. That is another thing that the Vikings have excelled at early in this season, is limiting stolen bases. The 2-1. Ball low. Excuse me, that was the catcher, Colin Mowry, who was thrown out. And that is going to be ball 4. In steps the senior third baseman, Charlie Szymanski. There's going to be a meeting on the mound between pitching coach Vince Davis and Waterman. Waterman not necessarily in too much trouble, but you never want to pitch with a deficit to your name. Just discussing some things over. Quick conversation. Likely just telling him to settle down,
Third
throw
baseman number
strikes.
7, Charlie Sismowski.
Sismowski takes outside for ball 1. Tight zone early on, or perhaps Waterman is just barely missing. The 1-0 pitch. Fouled back. 1-1. So the count is even now, 1-1. Sismowski recorded a hit in his only plate appearance. And he's going to take ball 2 upstairs. He was 1 for 1 in his only plate appearance against Naperville. The 2-1. Ball 3 in the dirt. So Waterman very quickly in a hole, 3-1. Comes set and the pitch. Ball 4 inside, and that's going to load the bases once again for the Lincoln Way Central Knights. 3 walks in this top of the first inning.
Designated hitter number 21, Colin Seathole.
Colin Senkpeel, and now for the Knights. He was 0 for 2 against Naperville. As he grounds one towards Rob Tate at short. Tate flips to Mulling, and that's going to do it for the Knights. But they get 2, and they take the lead over the Vikings. At the end of the top of the first, it's the Knights 2 and the Vikings nothing. All right, you'll excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I thought the Knights had scored 2 in the top of the first. They only scored 1, so it's less of a hole for the Vikings.
Left fielder number 13, Isaiah White.
Leading off for the Vikings is going to be the left fielder Isaiah White. This is his 5th consecutive game leading off for the Vikings. Something that only a few players can say that. And he squares around the bunt, and he's going to get it down, back to the pitcher, and he's going to be out at first. So it is a bunt out for Isaiah White as Brian Duvall throws to the first baseman, Colin Jerkadis.
Robert Tate.
Now, on the mound for the Knights is Brian Duvall. 1 pitch, 1 out for him. As Rob Tate takes strike 1. Tate is leading the team in hits and runs as he fouls one down the right field line. 0-2. Tate, one of only 3 qualified players in this Vikings lineup with 0 strikeouts on the year. Played in all 4 games and not struck out once as he takes ball 1 high. Looking to keep that streak alive is Tate. but he's behind in count 1 and 2. The pitch from Duvall. Upstairs, ball 2. Tate batting .533 on the year. Surprisingly, 3rd on the team. You would think that batting above 500 would get you first, as he takes ball 3 in the dirt. And that is 3 straight balls to Rob Tate, and that's going to bring the count to a full 3 and 2. Tate only has 1 walk on the year, looking to make this a second one. The pitch. Popped up on the infield, and that's going to get out of play. The wind did not blow that one back in. The wind not much of a factor, or granted, not as much of a factor as it has been in games past, where pretty much any ball in the air pulled to left field for a righty would leave the yard in an instant. Full count pitch, as he lines one right to the third baseman, Charlie Szymanski, and he's going to be retired on a line out. So a hard hit ball for Rob Tate, but unfortunately right at the third baseman, Szymanski.
Center fielder number 5, Jason Ballard.
In steps the center fielder, Jason Ballard. Ballard leads the team in walks as he takes strike 1. These top 3 batters have started all 5 games for the Vikings in that same order: White, Tate, Ballard. As Ballard sends one blooping into center field, and the center fielder, Meyer, comes in and catches it. So the Vikings go down in order in the bottom of the first. But at the end of 1, it's the Knights 1 and the Vikings 0. Leading things off here for the Knights in the top of the second, is right fielder Liam Arsich. Arsich did not play as he takes ball 1. Did not play in that game against Naperville. The 1-0 from Waterman. Fastball low, 2-0. Waterman with 3 walks in the first, behind very quickly up 2-0. Arsich fouls one back. 2-1. See how far that ball bounced off that brick wall? That can be a factor in pass balls for both teams, as if it gets by, it can just skip right back to the catcher. 2-1 for Waterman. Grounded to Heidelberg at first. Heidelberg is going to take it himself. It's going to go ground out unassisted to the first baseman, Heidelberg. So a good first out to get for Vince Waterman.
Second baseman number 19, Luke Mensick.
After that rough first inning, Not necessarily rough, but he allowed a few base runners. The first out is always good to get, as Luke Mensick fouls one off down the right field line. Luke and Landon Mensick are the Knights' middle infield duo, so that's pretty cool to see. Pair of brothers. As Luke takes ball one low. Luke Mensick is batting 9, and then Landon Mensick is leading off. So you got a pair of Mensicks up the middle, and then batting back-to-back to each other, as Luke pops one again down the right field line, out of play. So Vince Waterman ahead in the count now, 1-2. Looking for his first K of the game. The 1-2 pitch. Grounded towards the third baseman, Bilgi. Easy hop for him, and he fires across the diamond to Demir Heidelberg. An easy play for Nico Bilgi. That's going to be the second out.
Number 1, Landon Mensick.
And in steps, presumably, Luke Mensick's brother, Landon Mensick. It's not as obscure as of a last name as the, I'm blanking on the team we played last name, but their last name was Polubinski, as Landon Mensick takes strike 1. Waterman ahead in the count, 0-1. The pitch. Check swing, he did go, said the home plate umpire. So Vince Waterman ahead in the count, 0-2. See if he uses that breaking ball to get him out on strikes right here. The 0-2 pitch from Vince Waterman. Fastball, grounded up the middle. Rob Tate ranging to his left. The throw to Heidelberg in time for the out. So 3 ground ball outs for Vince Waterman in the top of the second. Retires the Knights in order. So in between the top and bottom of the second, it's the Vikings 0 and the Knights 1. Leading things off here for the Vikings in the bottom of the second is going to be the catcher, Preston Lund. The pitch. Lund sends one down the right field line. That is going to be a fair ball down the right field into the right field corner. Lund is going to be held up at second with a leadoff double. That's always a good sign to see. A leadoff double and a leadoff runner in scoring position now for Corey Mulling.
Second baseman, number 9, Corey Mulling.
Umpire appears to be talking to dugouts about something. Regardless, Vikings have a runner in scoring position and nobody out for Corey Mulling. Second baseman's batting .286 on the year. Not a bad number, but when you see guys like Isaiah White and Demir Heidelberg, who's on deck, batting upwards of 600, kind of makes you feel bad for yourself. But Mulling has had a good season so far as he takes ball one high. Mulling looking to even this game as C.J. Gales has courtesy ran for Preston Lund on second. Lund, being the catcher, is entitled to that courtesy runner. The 1-0 from Duvall. Mulling takes ball 2 outside. So Corey Mulling ahead in the count, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. Inside, ball 3. The 3-0 pitch, Duvall to Mulling. In there for strike 1. Maybe look to be a little on the low side, but the home plate umpire says no. Mulling would rather hit here anyway. He wants to drive in Gales from second. A 3-1 pitch. Fouled back out of play. That brings the count to a full 3-2. Mulling looking for any way on, ahead of Demir Heidelberg, arguably the team's hottest hitter at the moment. The full count pitch. Swing and a miss. Mulling chased upstairs. So 3 straight strikes from Duvall get Mulling down on strikes.
First baseman, number 31, Demir Heidelberg.
Demir Heidelberg, the sophomore first baseman stepping in for the Vikings, batting .667 on the year and leading the team in RBIs with 10. Looking to add to that as he pops one high in behind the plate, and that's going to be out of play. Hit off the bleachers where some fans were sitting. Heidelberg hit an absolute moonshot of a home run last game against Oswego East. Heidelberg 0-1. Lines one over the shortstop's head. That's going to be a run for the Vikings. The center fielder Meyer comes up with it, fires to the second baseman, and Demir Heidelberg is going to be safe at second with a one-out double. An RBI double from Demir Heidelberg evens this game at 1.
Designated hitter, number 23, Chris Webb.
The DH Chris Webb stands in. Webb only has 2 official at-bats on the year, but he has 4 walks. That could be beneficial for the Vikings looking for any runners as Webb fouls one back. 0-1. Demir Heidelberg, I might add, has not struck out at all. And he's put a ball in play in every single plate appearance that he's had in the season as Duvall steps off. Maybe worried about Demir Heidelberg's speed at second base. The 0-1 pitch to Chris Webb. Breaking ball in there, strike 2. Webb trying to do what Heidelberg did. Send one into the outfield, plating a runner from second. The 0-2 pitch. Fouled away. Webb just barely got a piece of that one, keeping himself alive. Webb fighting. Trying to get things to Nico Bilgi with 2 runners on. The 0-2 pitch. High and in, ball 1. Webb's only hit on the year was a double, so he has the power to send one into the gap and plate Heidelberg from second. The 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, drop third strike. Heidelberg is going to advance to third no matter what, but Chris Webb is going to be thrown out at first base. Some good base running by Demir Heidelberg has the Vikings with a runner on third and 2 outs now for Nico Bilgi.
Third baseman, number 8, Nico Bilgi.
Bilgi takes strike 1 on the outer third. Bilgi trying to give the Vikings a 2-1 lead, or perhaps even a 3-1 lead with 1 swing. A 1 pitch. Big cut and a miss from Bilgi. And Duvall's ahead in the count 0-2. Duvall trying to get 3 Ks in an inning. The 0-2 pitch. Curveball, just a bit high. Bilgi can send one into the left center field gap. Definitely has room to run. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball at the letters got by Nico Bilgi. But the Vikings even the game at 1. And at the end of the second inning, it is the Vikings 1 and the Knights 1, going to the top of the third. Leading things off for the Knights here in the top of the third inning is the left fielder Jack Novak. Novak singled to left field his first time up as he takes ball 1, skipped in there by Waterman. Waterman induced 3 weak ground ball outs in the top of the second. A good bounce back inning after that top of the first. Looking to do this, more of the same of the second inning, as Novak grounds 1 foul. Waterman even in the count 1-1. The pitch. Just low and outside. 2-1. Waterman still searching for that first K of the game. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball up and outside, 3-1. Waterman trying to prevent a leadoff walk, something that you never want to do as a pitcher. But he does anyway. Ball 4 in the dirt. And Jack Novak, with a leadoff walk, extends things in the inning to Kyle Mowry.
Number 17, catcher,
Colin Mowry. The junior catcher walked in his first at-bat, but then was thrown out trying to steal third, as he takes a breaking ball in there for strike 1. Waterman comes set. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss from Mowry. Vince Waterman very quickly ahead in the count, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Waterman to Mowry. Curveball got him. 3 straight curveballs to Colin Mowry, sends him packing. And Waterman has his first K of the game.
Center fielder number 4, Braden Meyer.
Braden Meyer steps to the dish for the Knights. He has the only RBI for the Knights, a single to left field. And he's going to ground one down the third base line foul. Good play by Nico Bilju was made there, but it was foul, so he couldn't do anything with it. But Waterman ahead in the count 0-1. Pitching while ahead in the count seems to be a big theme for Waterman. When he falls behind the count, he seems to have to really work to get back out of that hole. And as grounds one towards short, Rob Tate throws a Corey Mulling. Mulling on to first, and he's going to be safe. Braden Meyer, beats out the throw from Mulling. And it's going to go as a fielder's choice, 6-4. So that's the second out of the inning. And
First baseman number
Meyer and
13,
Novak switch places.
Connor Drakis.
The first baseman, Connor Drakis, steps in for the Knights. Drakis check swings awkwardly as the ball gets away from Lund. And Meyer's going to move up 90 feet to second. So now the Knights have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. But Waterman ahead in the count 0-1. Ahead in the count 0-2 now as a fastball by Drakis. Waterman looking for the sign from Lund. Comes set. The 0-2 pitch. Curveball, low, ball 1. Not a bad pitch there from Waterman. Just chased a fastball high, seeing if he could get him to chase a curveball in the dirt, change eye levels. Wondering if he goes back to that right here. The 1-2, fastball, just barely inside, 2-2. That high fastball seems to be very effective for Waterman if he gets it over the plate. If he leaves it outside, batters aren't going to offer at it. But the fastball is grounded on the ground to short. Rob Tate to Demir Heidelberg. And a good pick. No, Heidelberg came off the base. And Heidelberg thought he had it, so he kind of tossed the ball towards the infield. But it's going to be an infield single for Connor Drakis. And the Knights have runners on first and third for Charlie Szymanski.
Third baseman number 7, Charlie Szymanski.
Szymanski walked in his first at-bat, like Drakis before him. Waterman looking to escape this with no damage, other than a few more pitches. Pops it up. Mulling ranging to his right as he is under it and makes the third out of the inning. So a few base runners for the Knights do not come around to score, but at the end of the top of the third, and the Vikings coming to the dish, it's the Vikings 1 and the Knights 1. Leading things off here in the bottom of the third inning is the right fielder Terrence Stewart, as he fouls off the first pitch from Duvall. Stewart is 1 for 3 on the year. He's appeared in 2 games. The 0-1 from Duvall. Curveball in there for strike 2. Just barely got the top of the zone there. Duvall seems to be leaving that curveball up in the zone. That could be an issue if he leaves it over the heart of the plate. As the 0-2 pitch is outside, ball 1. The Vikings have power. They have 5 home runs on the year in 5 games. So if they connect with one, it's most likely going to leave the yard. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball called strike 3 as Stewart goes down looking. That's going to turn things over to the top of the order.
Isaiah White.
Isaiah White bunted to the pitcher his first time up on the first pitch that he saw. So perhaps looking to see some more pitches from Duvall here. As he takes strike 1 on the inside corner. Duvall has that sinking action with that fastball. So it looks like it's coming in on the hands of White, but then dips back over the corner of the plate. White takes a curveball, low or outside for a ball, 1-1. Out of play. White was fastball searching, and he got it, but he was just a bit more than a tad early, as he sent that one almost onto the street here. But the 1-2 pitch, fouled back again. White showing good bat-to-ball skills, just fighting, fouling off anything that comes towards him that he doesn't like. He's looking to give Rob Tate a runner on base. Potentially steal a few bases. He and Tate are 3 for 3 on the year in stolen bases, so a combined 6. The 1-2 pitch, Duvall to White. Curveball, no, he did not go, says a home plate umpire. 2-2. That curveball was just a little bit high. Maybe a bit outside as well. Evens count at 2-2. The pitch. Fastball inside, ball 3. So White looking to get on any way possible. Give Rob Tate a chance to give Rob Tate a chance to put the Vikings ahead by more than just 1 run. The full count pitch. White fouls one back again. This game going fairly quickly compared to the Vikings' other games. Granted, not a lot of scoring in this one has happened, as opposed to other games. The 3-2 pitch. Fouled again down the right field line, keeping the count at a full 3-2. Good at bat here from Isaiah White. He's fouled off 4 pitches. That no-run bottom of the first inning was the first time that the Vikings did not score in the bottom of the first all season. But the full count pitch to Isaiah White. Ball 4 upstairs. A great at-bat from the leadoff man, Isaiah White. And that's going to give Rob Tate a runner on first base to work with. Tate hit a hard-hit ball right to Sosmonski at third base his first time up. His first time up. They were playing him in the hole, too. If Sosmonski was playing where a third baseman normally plays, it would have been in the hole between Mensick and Sosmonski, between short and third. But they were shifted him probably opposite field for whatever reason, as you don't normally see that, as righties are usually played to pull. But Tate was shifted opposite field. His mound visit comes to an end.
Shortstop number 2, Robert Tate.
Tate leads the team in doubles with 2, hoping to add a third here. Pickoff attempt, Duvall is not in time to Jerkaitis. White slides back in there safely. Or Rob Tate could grab the home run lead for the Vikings with his second one of the game, of the season, excuse me. As he takes strike one. Tate not too happy about that call. But he is behind in the count, 0-1. Duvall comes set, the pitch. Tate fouls one back, 0-2. Tate trying to stay one of 3 players on the Vikings with 0 strikeouts on the year. But he is behind in the count, 0-2. But he was also behind in the count, 0-2 in his first at-bat as Duvall picks off to first base. White slides back in there safely. Tate comfortable with hitting in 2-strike situations, as his home run was actually with 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch. Tate fouls one back, and Isaiah White was off with the pitch, looking to add to his team-leading 3 stolen bases. Excuse me, take the lead, because he is tied with the lead with the man at the dish, Rob Tate, in stolen bases. They both have 3. But the 0-2 pitch to Rob Tate again. Grounded down the third base line. A good play by Szymanski, going to second. Out at second base is White, and a good sliding play by Szymanski gets an out for the Knights. Szymanski chose to get the fielder's choice out at second base. Luke Mensick was covering.
Center fielder number 5, Jason Ballard.
Ballard popped one to center field, his first at bat. As he takes ball 1 low. Ballard tied for the team lead in runs scored with Rob Tate. Pickoff attempt. Tate back in there safely. No need to slide. Ballard ahead in the count, 1-0. Duvall comes set in the pitch. Low. And catcher Mowry tried to backpick Rob Tate at first base to no avail. He was in there standing up. But Ballard is ahead in the count, 2-0 now. Duvall comes set. Pickoff attempt. Back in there safely is Tate. First baseman Jerkaitis had to fall to his knees to catch that one. A little bit of an errant throw. That's something the Vikings have taken advantage of in the past. Errant throws to first base, going down the right field line. They've scored off of that play many times. And it's going to be 3-0 to Jason Ballard as that ball in the dirt was blocked by Mowry. Preventing Rob Tate from going up 90 feet. Ballard trying to extend things to Preston Lund here in the bottom of the third. The 3-0 pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. 4 straight for Jason Ballard. That's going to extend things to Preston Lund, who doubled to right field in his first at-bat, hoping for more of the same right here.
Catcher number 10, Preston Lund.
Lund is now tied for the team lead in doubles with 2. He could take the lead right here with another double. And that likely would plate 2, as Ballard has wheels and can score from first on a ball in the gap. As Lund takes ball 1 upstairs. Lots of fans here today. Lincoln Way Central appears to have traveled well, and the Vikings crowd is, as usual, large for this conference home game. The 1-0 pitch. Lund hits one high in the air to left field. He just barely got under that ball. Oh, man. Preston Lund sends Jack Novak almost onto the warning track as the Vikings are retired in the third with no runs, and at the end of the third inning, it is the Vikings 1 and the Knights 1. Starting things off for the Lincoln Way, he grounded to short on a fielder's choice his first at-bat, ending the first inning. As he fouls off the first pitch from Waterman. Waterman looking to expand upon those good last two innings, as Sankpeel fouls another one back and is very quickly behind in the count 0-2. The Kent State commit, Vince Waterman. See if Waterman goes to that curveball in the dirt right here. Threw him 2 straight fastballs. The 0-2 pitch. Curveball right back to Rob Tate at shortstop. He throws to Demir Heidelberg at first, and that is going to be a very hard hit out for the Knights. Vince Waterman actually almost stabbed that with his glove, and if he had hit that, it potentially could have knocked off course enough so that Rob Tate couldn't have gotten that.
Right fielder number 20, Liam Arsich.
So it's a good thing that Waterman did not touch that with his glove. Got Tate an easy play, so it was hit right to him. But Liam Arsich, takes ball 1 upstairs. He grounded to first base his first time up. He takes ball 2 high. Waterman comes set. The 2-0 pitch. In there for strike 1. Waterman trying to dig out of a little 2-0 hole, not as massive as a 3-0 hole, as he evens the count at 2-2 with a big swing and a miss there from Arsich. The 2-2 pitch. Waterman to Arsich. Fouled back down the first base line as Waterman makes a good play off the net right there. Sadly, that does not count as an out. You wish it did, as it was a very athletic play by Waterman to get off the mound. But sadly, it is not. But he gets that same ball back, so perhaps that could be a factor here. The 2-2 pitch from Waterman. Curveball in the dirt, ball 3. That's going to bring the count to 3-2. Full count. Top of the 4th here. Fastball hit in the air to center field. Stewart coming in right center field makes the catch. An easy play for the second out of the inning.
Second baseman number 19, Luke Mensick.
Mensick grounded to third base, Nico Bilgi, his first time up. It was a nice little one hop. Came down nice and easy for Nico Bilgi. Is that 2-seam action where it tails back toward his arm side as he's ahead in the count 0-1. Even in the count, 1-1. Waterman looking to get out of this thing, 1-2-3. As he sends one into the right center field gap, Ballard ranging to his left. As Stewart cannot come up with it, it falls in between them. And Luke Mensick is going to be in there on second base with a 2-out double. That's going to turn things over to the top of the order.
Shortstop number 1, Landon Mensick.
Mensick 1 for 2 on the day. He singled to right his first AB to lead things off and grounded to short his last at-bat. Have a courtesy runner for Mensick at second. I should clarify, Luke Mensick at second. Landon Mensick is at the dish. Waterman trying to get out of this with no runs scored. Just barely outside, says the home plate umpire. 1-0. A good curveball there from Waterman. The 1-0 from Waterman. Fouled back by Mensick, 1-1. Lund makes a nice play off the net. Granted, not as athletic as Waterman, as that was hit pretty much right to him. But it still a play off the net, nevertheless. So the count is even at 1-1. Grounded into the hole between third and short. Mensick is going to be waved home. Isaiah White comes up throwing, and he's going to be in there. So a run-scoring single for Landon Mensick gives the Knights 2-1 lead here in the top of the fourth inning. Mensick advanced to second base on that throw.
Jack Novak.
Jack Novak stepping in for the Knights now. The left fielder is 1 for 1 on the day. He singled and walked. Lund, good block. On a ball in the dirt. Novak trying to drive in Mensick from second. The 1-0 pitch. Hit on a line to left center field, and that ball is off the top of the wall. I thought that ball was going to leave, but it does not. It stays in the yard, and that's going to be an RBI double for Jack Novak. In steps the catcher, Colin Mowry. He's 0 for 1 on the day with a walk and a strikeout. But the Knights take a 3-1 lead in the top of the fourth. Ball 1 low to Mowry. Waterman was so close to escaping that with no runs. But a double to the 9-hole hitter, Luke Mensick, started it as Mowry takes ball 2 high, and Lund is going to go out there for a chat with Waterman, calming him down. Mowry has not put a ball in play in this game. The 2-0 pitch. Pickoff attempt. He's going to be back in there safely. Is Novak at second. Count is still 2-0 to Mowry. Tapped towards the mound. Nico Bilgi coming in, and a very nice play running in is Nico Bilgi. But the Knights get 2 in the top of the fourth from a 2-out double from Luke Mensick, Landon Mensick, and then a big RBI double from Jack Novak. So at the end of the top of the fourth, it's the Knights 3 and the Vikings 1. Brian Duvall back out there for his 4th inning of work for the Knights.
Leading off the bottom of the 4th inning, second baseman number 9, Corey Mulling.
Corey Mulling leads things off for the Vikings. He struck out in his only plate appearance this game as he flies one towards center field. Meyer going to his right. He's going to make the play. So a fly out to right center field retires Mulling on the first pitch of the inning.
Number 31, first baseman, Demir Heidelberg.
Demir Heidelberg now standing in for the Vikings. He had a big RBI double, and he's going to send one on the ground to third base, and he's going to be out at first base. A good recovery from Sismonski retires Demir Heidelberg as that ball went off his shin, but still had enough time to retire Demir Heidelberg. Ball was hit very sharply.
Designated hitter, number 23, Chris Webb.
So 2 pitches, 2 outs now for Duvall. Webb probably has a take sign on, as you never want to have a 3-pitch inning for the opposing team's pitcher. Yes, he does, as he takes ball 1 upstairs and outside. Vikings trying to get a little 2-out magic going. The 1-0 pitch in the dirt. Ball 2. Duvall to Webb, 2-0. Upstairs, 3-0. So after 2 very quick 1-pitch outs, Brian Duvall has thrown 3 straight balls to the 7-hole hitter, Chris Webb. That's in there for a strike, 3-1. Chris Webb trying to extend this inning to Nico Bilgi as he fans at a fastball. That brings the count to 3-2. Vikings trying to prevent a quick inning for Duvall. The 3-2 pitch. Just low. And Chris Webb is going to be standing on first base for Nico Bilgi. No, excuse me. Bilgi is going to be subbed out of the game for Caden Wesley.
At bat, number 11, Caden Wesley.
Coach McCarthy looking to be more hand-oriented, as the lefty Bilgi not an optimal matchup for, the lefty Duvall not an optimal matchup for the lefty Bilgi. And the Lincoln Way Central coach is coming out to have a talk with Duvall. Bilgi had struck out in his only plate appearance so far. But I would imagine that he's probably going to be re-entered in the game. We've seen that before, where you can pinch hit and then re-enter the next inning on defense. So I would be willing to guess that that's what's going to happen, as Bilgi is a great defensive third baseman. But Wesley definitely has the upper hand here, having the hand advantage. Wesley is 1 for 4 on the year, as he takes strike 1 from Duvall. It's always good to see one when you're coming off the bench. Get your eyes acclimated to the pitcher. He's behind the count, 0-1. And he sends one into the right center field gap. That's going to get down, and it's going to go to the wall. Chris Webb is going to be waved around third, and he is going to score. Caden Wesley with a big RBI double, and that cuts the Knights' lead to 1 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And that's why you bat for handedness, the handedness advantage. And now it looks like Caden Wesley is going to be pinch ran for. In steps TJ Stewart. No, is Caden Wesley going to be pinch ran for? Everybody's just kind of standing and looking around him. Yes, he is. He's going to be pinch ran for by Luke Griggs.
Right fielder, number 7, Terrence Stewart.
Stewart struck out
Luke
looking
Griggs
his first
is
at
now
bat.
on second base.
So Wesley is rewarded with Wesley's double is rewarded with a trip to the bench. He is subbed out for the faster Griggs as Stewart takes ball 1 low. Stewart trying to tie this game at 3 here in the bottom of the 4th. The 1-0 pitch. Low, ball 2. Griggs has the speed to straight steal third, but you never want to make the third out on the base paths, especially not at third. After those 2 pitches, you might be wondering, could he just wait for a pass ball? And there's 3 straight in the dirt from Duvall. And the Lincoln Way Central pen is up and moving. So the 3-0 pitch to TJ Stewart. Stewart looking to turn things over to the top of the lineup in Isaiah White as he takes strike 1 at the top of the zone. Stewart still ahead in the count, 3-1, as he takes strike 2. Stewart, full count now, trying to extend the inning to the leadoff man, Isaiah White. The 3-2 pitch, curveball up and outside. That's going to be a walk for TJ Stewart. And it looks like that's going to be it for Brian Duvall. So we got another meeting on the mound. Everybody's looking towards the bullpen. And yes, it is going to be it for Brian Duvall. So the lefty goes 3 2/3, allows 2 runs, and he's going to exit with runners on first and second to his name. So we'll step out. We'll be right back with more Vikings baseball.
Left fielder, number 13, Isaiah White.
Pitching now for the Knights is the former second baseman, Luke Mensick. He was replaced.
Luke Mensick is now pitching for the Knights.
He was replaced by Joseph Zaitara at second base. as Isaiah White stands in, the leadoff man, with 2 runners on and 2 outs. As he pops one up on the infield, down the third base line, third baseman calling for it, and he's going to get it. So Charlie Sismonski gets the out down the third base line in foul territory, and 1 pitch, 1 out for Luke Mensick retires the Vikings in the bottom of the 4th. But they get 1, so at the end of the 4th inning, it's the Knights 3 and the Vikings 2. Replacing Vince Waterman on the mound is the left-hander Evan Nieder. This is Nieder's 3rd appearance in 5 games for the Vikings. So Vince Waterman goes 4 innings, allows 3 runs,
Leading off the top of the 5th inning, center fielder number
3 hits,
Braden
1
Meyer.
strikeout, and three walks. So not too bad of a day for Waterman. But Nieder takes over here in the top of the 5th as Braden Meyer takes ball 1 low. Meyer is 1 for 2 on the day with a run-scoring single and a fielder's choice ground out. He takes ball 2 inside. Nieder behind the count 2-0 to the cleanup man, Braden Meyer. The pitch. Ball 3 upstairs. Nieder very quickly in a 3-0 hole, looking to dig out of it. That's going to be in there for strike 1. Nieder has that very severe 2-seam action. You see Meyer gave up on that, thought that one was going to be at his hip, but that came back in over the black of the plate on the inside corner. The 3-1 pitch. Fouled back. 3-2. So Nieder battles back to be a full count now, 3-2. Looking to come all the way back from 3-0 to a strikeout. The pitch from Evan Nieder. Lined into left field, and that's going to be a single for Braden Meyer. Almost a replica of what he did in the 1st inning.
First baseman number 18, Connor Jurkasik.
In steps the first baseman, Connor Jurkadis. He is 1 for 1 on the day with a walk and an infield single to Rob Tate at short. But 1 ground ball could get the Vikings 2 outs here as there's strike one from Nieder. Nieder heading the count 0-1. The pitch. Curveball just outside. Even the count at 1-1. Jerkaitis looking to do some damage here. Nieder, the pitch. Inside, ball 2. Nieder comes set. The 2-1 pitch. In the dirt. Good block by Preston Lund there. 3-1 to Jerkaitis. Jerkaitis looking for his second walk of the game. Walked in his first plate appearance in the first inning. The 3-1 pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. So, Nieder having some control issues early in his outing. That's going to send the third baseman, Charlie Szymanski, up to the dish with 2 runners on and nobody out.
Third baseman, number 7, Charlie Szymanski.
Szymanski is 0 for 1 on the day with a pop-up to second base and a walk. The pitch from Nieder. Steps off as Szymanski called time. Nieder, the pitch. Szymanski squares to bunt, and that's going to be in the dirt. Good block by Preston Lund, right under him. Didn't realize it, but he did block it. But Szymanski squared to bunt, perhaps sacrificing himself to get Mayer to third and Jerkaitis to second. So the Knights could have 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 out. Nieder looking for a ground ball double play right here. He takes ball 2 low and outside. Szymanski does. 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. Nieder to Szymanski. Swing and a miss. 2-1. Nieder looking to bounce back from a 2-0 hole. The 2-1 pitch. Nieder to Szymanski. Squares to bunt. Does not get it down, but he does attempt as a home plate umpire. So that's going to bring the count to an even 2-2. Nieder trying to bounce back from a walk and a single to start this inning as ball 3 is outside, and that's going to get to the backstop. And Mayer and Jerkaitis are going to move up 90 feet to third and second, respectively. That's going to bring the count to a full 3-2 on Szymanski. The DH, Colin Senkpeel, waits on deck. No, excuse me. That is the second baseman, Joseph Zaitara. As ball 4 is inside, bounces back to Lund off the bricks. Ball 4 was actually behind Szymanski. The bases are loaded now with no outs.
Second baseman, number 11, Joseph Zaitara.
Lund going out to have a chat with Nieder, rightfully so. Nieder has struggled with command here in the first 3 batters of his outing. Trying to settle him down. If he can get a weak ground ball, would not be surprised if the Vikings came home to get a runner out at home, and then Lund fires to first to get a double play. The bases are loaded. Nobody out here for the Knights. Top of the 5th inning. As Zaitara takes ball 1 in the dirt. Good block by Lund.
Free through the eyelids. Smooth and easy.
A single and 2 walks have led to this point for the Knights. One and 0 to Saitara. That's going to be in there for strike one. The first one is always the hardest. So now that Nieder has thrown one to Zaitara, could have just found it and now is settled in. The 1-1 pitch. Time is called by Lund. Lund going over to chat things out with his pitcher. Maybe discussing signs. Maybe the runner on second base has their signs and is relaying them to the batter.
It's got to be the top five, at least top five.
The 1-1 pitch. Nieder comes set. In the dirt. And that ball is going to get away from Lund, and 1 run is going to score as a wild pitch kicks off the bricks and away from Preston Lund. And another run is going to score for the Knights as they extend their lead back to 2. As Meyer scores from third on that wild pitch from Nieder. The score is now 4-2. Zaitara takes ball 3.
Mm-hmm.
3-0 on the second baseman, Joseph Zaitara. 3-1, excuse me. Ball 4, says a home plate umpire. And that's going to load the bases once again for the Knights. Pitching coach coming out to talk with Nieder. So we'll step out. We'll be right back with more Vikings baseball. Nieder looking to bounce back against it's a pinch hitter for the Knights. See who it is. Nieder comes set. Ball 1, low and outside. C.J. Siddell is a batter for the Knights. A single and 3 straight walks have netted the Knights another run, and the base is loaded here in the top of the 5th. As ball 2 is high and outside. The 2-0 to Nieder, from Nieder. Ball 3, 3 of pretty much the exact same pitch. A walk here would give the Knights another run, as Nieder has thrown 3 straight, low and outside. A 3-0 pitch. In there for strike 1. He's got the first one. So 2 and 3 could be coming right after. A 3-1 pitch. Nieder to Siddell. Ball 4, outside. It looks like that's going to do it for Nieder as he walks in 2 runs. So we'll step out while the Vikings make a pitching change. Now pitching for the Vikings is number 30, Trent
Number
Roseborough.
19, Luke Mensick.
Roseborough, this is his second appearance on the mound of the year. He throws strike one to Luke Mensick. Mensick has grounded to third and doubled to right field in his 2 plate appearances in this game. But Trent Roseborough inherits the bases loaded and in a bit of a tough situation with no outs, trying to keep this Knights lead to only 3. Roseborough working from the windup. The 0-1 pitch. No, says the home plate umpire. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Roseborough gets a swing and a miss from Luke Mensick. It's foul tipped right back into the glove of Preston Lund. And Roseborough is ahead in the count 1-2. A strikeout here would be massive, as in 1 ground ball could get the Vikings out of this inning. 1-2. Fouled down the third base line. Luke Mensick looking to turn things over to his brother, Landon Mensick, the top of the order. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on. Hit into left field. Isaiah White under it. He's going to come up throwing. And 1 run is going to score for the Knights. But he's going to be thrown out at second base. Is the second baseman, Joseph Zaitara. So technically a double play. But 1 run comes in to score for the Knights, extending their lead to 6-2. A good play.
Shortstop, number 1.
A good play by Nico Bilgi and Rob Tate to cover that third base bag and get Zaitara trying to advance to third. So now there's only a runner on first base and 2 outs now for the top of the order as Landon Mensick takes strike 1. Roseborough steps off. The 1-0, the 0-1 is high, evening the count at 1-1. Count is even now, 1-1. Roseborough comes set. The pitch. Swung on, hit into center field. Ballard going back on it, and he can't come up with it. Ballard dives and does not make the catch, and Mensick is going to score, as Arsic is going to score from first base on the RBI double from Landon Mensick. And that gives the Knights a 5-run lead here in this top of the 5th inning.
Left fielder, number 2, Jack Novak.
So Landon Mensick has accounted for 4 of the Knights' 7 runs, as he has drove in 3 and scored once. Jack Novak stepping in now. He's 2 for 2 on the day with a single and a double. The pitch from Roseborough. In there for strike 1. Roseborough inherited a rough situation as all 3 of those runs that came in to, 2 of those runs that came in to score are going to be charged to Evan Nieder as Novak takes outside, evening the count at 1-1. Just barely outside was that pitch. Roseborough comes set. The 1-1 pitch. Outside and low again, ball 2. Roseborough trying to stop the damage. 2-1 pitch. Just low, ball 3. Roseboro has a base open, as the man on deck, Colin Mowry, has not had the best day. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. The 3-1 pitch. Novak skies one into right center field. Ballard calls off Stewart for out number 3. But the Knights put up 4 and extend their lead to 5 over the Vikings. So in the middle of the 5th inning, it's the Knights 7 and the Vikings 2. Back out on the mound for the Knights
Leading
is
off the bottom of
Luke
the 5th
Mensick.
inning, shortstop number 2, Robert Tate.
Robert Tate leads things off for the Vikings. He's 0 for 2 on the game, trying to get his first hit. Squares to bunt, pulls back, but that ends up being a strike in there from Mensick. Not like Rob Tate to go hitless in a game, but he is so far. The 0-1 pitch. Outside, ball 1. The third baseman, Charlie Szymanski, is playing in that hole between third and short, where Rob Tate has hit 2 hard hit balls as he takes ball 2 outside. But that third base line is wide open for Tate to pull one down it, as Tate sprays one foul. 2-2. Tate looking to get something going here for the Vikings in the bottom of the 5th. Down by 5. 2-2. Tate sends one out to right field. Little bloop. And that's going to fall foul. So Tate stays alive. Little stinger off his hands as he's shaking them. The cold and off the end of the bat will do that to you. That's why it's even more important to hit a barrel, as your hands do not sting if you square one up. But the 2-2 pitch. Tate takes ball 3 high. Tate looking to give Jason Ballard an at-bat with a runner on. The full count pitch. Tate swings and sends one right back up the middle. Mensick has some trouble with it, but Tate is going to be safe at first base. A wide throw from the shortstop, Landon Mensick, allows Rob Tate to scoot on over to first base. Connor Drakatis could not slap the tag on Rob Tate. And Jason Ballard is going to have a runner on first base for his
Center
at-bat.
fielder number 5, Jason Ballard.
Jason Ballard popped up to center field and walked in his 2 plate appearances as he takes ball 1. Rob Tate is a threat on the base paths, so we could potentially see him swipe second right here. Maybe not this pitch, but potentially this at-bat. As a good block there by Mowry prevents Tate from taking second, as ball 2 is in the dirt. Ballard quickly ahead in the count, 2-0. Mensick works quickly. Comes set. Ballard check swing. In there for strike 1. Likely would have been a strike with or without the swing. Pickoff attempt. Tate back in there safely. The 2-1. Ballard sends one right back up the middle. Mensick steps on second, fires to first base, and that is going to be a double play. Ballard hits one hard, but right at the shortstop, Mensick. So that is a real stinger for the Vikings, as that Rob Tate base runner is erased.
Catcher number 10, Preston Lund.
Preston Lund steps in now. He hit a double to right field his first at-bat, and then just barely got under a ball, hit to left field. Almost left the yard as he takes ball 1 low. Lund ahead in the count, 1-0. Ahead in the count, 2-0 now. Trying to get a little 2-out rally going. As he takes ball 3. Corey Mulling waits on deck. He's 0 for 2, but has had some good at-bats. A 3-0 pitch to Preston Lund. Ball 4 inside. So a 2-out walk to Preston Lund on 4 straight pitches sends Corey Mulling to the dish. C.J. Gales is going to courtesy run for Preston Lund, the catcher.
Second baseman number 9, Corey Mulling.
Mulling struck out and flied to center field in his 2 at-bats. As he takes ball 1 in the dirt. That's 5 straight balls for Mensick. Mensick comes set. The 1-0. Inside ball 2 as Gales is back in there safely. Mowry has tried to do that a few times now. He has not been successful once. But 6 straight balls have Corey Mulling with a 2-0 count. 7 straight, 3-0. With the Vikings' most dangerous hitter, Demir Heidelberg, waiting on deck. The 3-0 pitch. In there for strike 1. But after 7 straight balls, gotta wonder if that was a fluke or not. As Mulling grounds one towards the third baseman. Szymanski up with it and picked by Drakatis at first base to retire Mulling. And at the end of the 5th inning, it is the Knights of Lincoln Way Central 7 and the Vikings of Homewood-Flossmor 2. Trent Roseboro back out on the mound for the Vikings in the top of the 6th inning. Roseboro got all 3 outs in the top of the 5th while not starting it. Evan Nieder did. But he will face the catcher, Colin Mowry. Mowry calls time, steps out. Umpire instructing the Vikings to get in the dugout. Roseboro winds, delivers. In there for strike 1. Mowry behind in the count 0-1. Behind in the count 0-2 now. As a curveball from Roseboro was swung and missed at. Roseboro very quickly ahead in the count 0-2. Looking to send Mowry packing. Fastball upstairs 1-2. Mowry 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout, a ground out, and a walk. The 1-2 pitch. Just barely outside. Evens the count at 2. Looked good from up here. But that evens the count at 2-2, says the home plate umpire. The 2-2 pitch. Ooh, just barely outside again. Full count 3-2. Some very competitive 2-strike pitches from Trent Roseboro. Has the count at 3-2. The pitch. Ball 4 high. Roseboro had him 0-2 and then loses him to a walk.
Center fielder number 4, Braden Meyer.
Braden Meyer stands in now for the Knights. He's 2 for 2 on the day with 2 RBI singles. Plating Landon Mensick both times. Roseboro steps off. Good block by Preston Lund as ball 1 was in the dirt. The 1-0. Upstairs, ball 2. Roseboro comes set. The 2-0 pitch. Runner going. The throw from Lund. Safe, says the base umpire. Good throw by Lund, but Mowry slides in safely with a stolen base. (3-0) to Braden Meyer, excuse me. The pitch. Ball 4, says the home plate umpire. So 2 straight walks to start this top of the 6th inning as the Knights threatening to score more.
First baseman number 18, Connor Jerkasis.
Connor Jerkatis, 1 for 1 on the day with 2 walks. The pitch from Roseboro. Low, ball 1. Roseboro looking to escape this bit of a jam he's created, as another very competitive pitch is called a ball. 2-0 now. Roseboro's just missing with a lot of these, it seems. The pitch. No. 3-0. I mean, it feels like Roseboro is right there. Like he's just barely missing. This inning could have gone a whole lot differently if The zone was just a bit wider. As the 3-0 is in there for a strike to Drukaitis. Walks have been the killer for the Vikings on the mound, as they have issued 6 of them so far. 6 of them in the last 2 innings, might I say. As that ball is swung on, hitting the left center field gap, Ballard racing over, and that ball's going to fall. Mowry's going to be held up at third base, and that's going to load the bases now for Charlie Szymanski.
Third baseman, number 7, Charlie Szymanski.
But yes, the Vikings have 6 walks in the last 2 innings on the mound. 4 of them have come around to score. As ball 1 is outside. They have 10 on the game, so lots of free passes for the Knights. Roseboro behind in the count, 0-1. 1-0, excuse me. Swing and a miss from Szymanski. Evens the count at 1-1. The 1-1 from Roseboro. Hit, little flare out into right center field, and that's going to fall. A little duck snort over the head of Mulling. Plates Mowry from third base. So Szymanski has himself an RBI single.
Second baseman, number 11, Joseph Zatara.
Joseph Zaitara stands in. He was Luke Mensick's replacement at second base when Mensick switched over to the mound. He walked in his first plate appearance, but then was out on the base paths trying to tag up to third base on a sac fly. As he did not go. No swing. 1-0. The 1-1 from Roseboro. Zaitara swings and misses. 1-1 now. Knights still have the bases loaded with nobody out. In there for strike 2. Knights looking to add to their 6-run lead here. But Roseboro with a 1-2 count swings. Roseboro strikes out Zaitara. And the bases are still loaded now, but with 1 out. Roseboro, the wind and the pitch. Hit on the ground to Mulling at second base. Has some trouble coming up with it, but still gets the out at first base. But a run does score. So that's going to be another run for the Knights, and they extend their lead to 7 runs.
19, Luke Mensick.
Now batting for the Knights is the pitcher, Luke Mensick. He started the game at second base. As he did go around as a home plate umpire. 1-0. 0-1. Knights have runners on second and third. As strike 2 is in there. So Roseboro ahead in the count, 0-2. Looking to get out of this inning. 1 more strike will have the Vikings out of this. Roseboro steps off. Mensick looking to turn things over to the top of the order for the Knights. The 0-2 pitch. Just high, ball one. Roseboro getting a sign from Lund. Comes set. The 1-2 pitch. In the dirt. Good block by Lund. 2-2. Count is even now, 2-2. 2 outs. 2 men on for the Knights. The pitch from Roseboro. Tapped, just barely foul. Lund tried to snag it as it was in fair territory, but it spun foul. Has a count now, still at 2-2. The pitch from Roseboro. Good block by Lund. Brings it to a full 3-2. The top of the order, and Landon Mensick waits on deck. The full count pitch. Low, says a home plate umpire. So Luke Mensick with a 2-out walk, loading the bases for Landon Mensick. Mensick has been hot. He's 3 for 4 on the day.
Number 1, Landon Mensick.
Had that walk-off 3-run homer against Naperville. But Roseboro looking to get out of it with minimal damage. Swing and a miss from Mensick. That's a good start for Roseboro. Roseboro heading the count 0-1. The pitch. Mensick did not go, says the base umpire. Evens the count at 1-1. The 1-1 from Roseboro. Swung on into left field. Isaiah White has trouble coming up with it, and 2 runs are going to score. And that is going to be a 9-run lead for the Knights of Lincoln Way Central. So Landon Mensick continues his good day at the plate. So he's now 4 for 5 with
Left fielder,
5 RBIs.
Jack Novak.
Jack Novak standing in now. He's 2 for 3 with a single, a double, and a walk. Ball 1 is outside. Roseboro comes set. And the pitch. In there for strike 1. Count is even now, 1-1. Novak fouls one off. 1-2. Roseboro getting the sign from Preston Lund. Delivers, no, picks off towards second base with no throw. The 1-2 pitch from Roseboro. In the dirt, ball 2. Evens the count now at 2-2. Two on, 2 out, 2-2. The pitch from Roseboro. Swings and sends a high fly ball into right field. The ball's going to hang up there for a while. Stewart is there to make out number 3. But the Knights put up another 4 spot and extend their lead to 11-2 over the Vikings. Leading things off for the Vikings here in the bottom of the 6th is the first baseman, Demir Heidelberg. Heidelberg has put some good swings on the ball with a double to left center field and a very hard hit ground out as he swings and misses at strike 1. Heidelberg behind in the count 0-1 as he fouls one back 0-2. So Heidelberg very quickly in a hole 0-2. The 0-2 from Mensick. Strike 3, and Heidelberg goes down looking. That is his first strikeout of the year. It was going to happen at some point.
Designated hitter, number 23, Chris Webb.
Chris Webb stepping to the plate now. He's walked and struck out in his 2 trips to the plate as he takes ball 1 high. The 1-0 from Mensick. Just outside. 1-1. Mensick winds, swings, and gets a swing and a miss from Chris Webb. Brings the count now to 1-2. Webb takes ball 2. Mensick working very quickly from the windup. The Vikings have some work to do, trailing by 9, with only 5 outs remaining. 4 outs remaining now. No, excuse me. As now that evens the count at 2-2. Excuse me, count is full, 3-2. Lost track of pitches as Chris Webb skies one down the right field line. Right fielder, second baseman, and first baseman all converging, and they're going to make the play. Is Liam Arsich over there in right field.
Third baseman, number 8, Nico Bilgi.
In steps the third baseman, Nico Bilgi. Bilgi's 0 for 1 on the day, as Caden Wesley pinch hit for him last time, but then Bilgi re-entered as Bilgi sends one down the first base line, and that's going to be a base hit for Nico Bilgi. It went off the first baseman Jerkadis' glove, and the second baseman Zaitara was not ready for the redirection. As TJ Stewart stands in now.
Right fielder, number 7, Terrence Stewart.
Stewart has walked and struck out in his trips to the plate. looking to get something going for the Vikings as he takes strike one. Heavy dosage of fastballs from Mensick to the Vikings. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss from Stewart. Behind in the count now 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Mensick to Stewart. Stewart fouls one back. Count is still at 0-2. Stewart looking to turn things over to the top of the lineup in Isaiah White. He thought it was strike three. He started walking back to the dugout. The home plate umpire says no. Gives him an extra life. Breaking ball for Mensick looked good there. But the count is 1-2. As Stewart fouls one straight down, staying alive. Mensick comes set. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball. Late call by the home plate umpire, but the right call as Stewart goes down looking. So at the end of the 6th inning, the Vikings have some work to do as they're down to their final 3 outs and down 9 runs to the Lincoln Way Central Knights. Nico Bilgi takes over for the Vikings on the mound in the top half of the 7th. And he starts Colin Mowry off with a breaking ball outside for ball 1. Mowry still searching for his first hit of this game as he swings through a fastball, 1-1. Mowry has 2 walks, has struck out and grounded out in his 4 trips to the dish. The count is even now, 1-1. The 1-1 from Bilgi. Another swing and a miss from Mowry. Bilgi ahead in the count, 1-2. The pitch. Curveball, got him looking. Strike 3 as Preston Lund's short hops a throw to Jacob Gunn. But Nico Bilgi gets Mowry looking.
Center fielder number 4, Braden Meyer.
In steps the center fielder, Braden Meyer. He takes a curveball low and outside. He is 2 for 3 on the day with 2 singles and a walk. So he takes ball 2, a little bit low. Mayer's also grounded into a fielder's choice. This Bilgi is behind the count now, 3-0. As there's strike one from Bilgi. Three one from Bilgi. Swing and a miss from Mayer. Count is full, 3-2. So Bilgi fights back from a 3-0 hole to now a full count on Braden Mayer. As he walks him, a fastball outside gives Braden Mayer a free pass to first base. Connor Jerkaitis now stepping in.
First baseman, number 18, Connor Jerkaitis.
Jerkaitis has 3 walks and an infield single as he takes strike one. Bilgi can get Jerkaitis to roll over to Jacob Gunn at third base, his replacement at third. Vikings can easily get a 5-4-3 double play. The 0-1 from Bilgi. Curveball in the dirt, gets away from Lund, went right off his leg, and Mayer is going to move up 90 feet to second base. Went right off the shin protector of Preston Lund. He did everything he could to block that, but it just kicked off of the side of his leg. The 1-1 from Bilgi. In the dirt, another good block by Preston Lund. Lund has been working today. Lots of balls in the dirt from the Vikings pitchers. Lund has only allowed the worst of them to get by him. But Bilgi, the 2-1, swung on over the head of Malling into center field. Ballard is going to come up firing, and Heidelberg is going to field it cleanly. So the Knights have runners on first and third now with 1 out as Connor Jerkaitis bloops a single in there over Corey Mulling's head.
Charlie Kuzmasic.
Charlie Szymanski, the third baseman, stepping in now. Preston Lund giving the infield the first and third signs. If Jerkaitis were to steal from first base, what they would do. Would they concede the run and get the out? Bilgi comes set. Delivers ball 1 high. Bilgi looking for a ground ball right here. The 1-0. Fouled back. 1-1. Szymanski is 1 for 2 on the day with a single to right field. Pop up to the second baseman, Corey Malling, but also has 2 walks to go along with that. Walks definitely have been the killer for the Vikings. Szymanski bloops one, sends one into the center field. Ballard is going to make the catch, come up firing. He spikes it into the dirt, and it rolls to Heidelberg, playing the cutoff man. And the Knights get another one, so their lead is extended now to 10. So the Vikings are going to have to do some work in the bottom of the 7th. Zaitara now standing in. He takes ball 1 outside. Zaitara has walked and struck out in his 2 plate appearances. He replaced the original DH, Colin Senkapil. The 1-0 from Bilgi. Swing and a miss from Zaitara. Evens the count at 1-1. The 1-1 from Bilgi. Curveball. Got Zaitara to bail out, but home plate umpire called it a strike. Broke back in over the heart of the plate, 1-2. Wonder if Bilgi goes back to it right here. Fastball fouled down the third base line. Went to a high fastball. Count is still 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch from Bilgi. Curveball in the dirt. Got Zaitara to chase. And Preston Lund slaps the tag on him to get the final out of the top of the 7th. But the Vikings have their work cut out for them as they are down 10 going into the bottom half of the last inning. It's the Knights 12 and the Vikings 2. Starting things off for the Vikings here in the bottom of the 7th inning is the leadoff man, Isaiah White. White looking to snap an 0-for-3 skid to start 0-for-2 skid on the day as he swings and misses at the first pitch. White behind in the count 0-1. Behind in the count 0-2 now. White tied up again, but inside. Pitching now for the Knights is number 9, Jack Barrett. It's likely their closer. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got Isaiah White to chase. And now that brings up Robert Tate. Tate is 0-for-3 on the day.
Number 2, Robert Tate.
He lined to third base, hit a hard ground ball to third base, and then got reached on an error by the shortstop. As he takes strike 1 in there. Barrett working quickly, 0-1. Grounded towards that third base again, and he's going to be retired. So Rob Tate hits another ground ball to third base and is retired 5-3 in the scorebooks. That's going to bring up Jason Ballard.
Center fielder number 5, Jason Ballard.
Jason Ballard, 0-for-2, 1-for-2 on the day, with a double as he takes strike 1. Barrett is pounding the zone. 0-1. In there, strike 2. So the Vikings now down to their final strike. The 0-2 from Barrett. In the dirt, 1-2. Barrett winds and delivers the 1-2. Swung on, hit down the third base line, fair ball. Jason Ballard is going to be stopped at first base. A 2-out single for Jason Ballard, and the Vikings are not done just yet.
Catcher, number 10, Preston Lund.
Preston Lund now standing in. He's walked and doubled on the day to go along with the fly out. As he takes ball 1, low and away. The 1-0 from Barrett. In there for strike 1. The ball gets away from Barrett. But Ballard cannot advance as it was right to the shortstop, Mensick. Lund even in the count, 1-1. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Lund chased in the dirt. Barrett looks to have a pretty tight slider. It's getting a lot of Vikings to swing awkwardly. But the Vikings are once again down to their final strike. The 1-2. Outside, says a home plate umpire. As lots of Lincoln Way Central players were already walking off the field. But the count is even now, 2-2. Lund grounds one back to the pitcher. And Barrett is going to flip to the first baseman, Jerkadis, and that is going to do it for the Vikings. They fall in 7 innings, their first one of the year, to the Lincoln Way Central Knights. 12-2, and the Vikings are going to be in action on the 27th of March against Kankakee. So the Vikings are now 4-1 on the year, and the Lincoln Way Central Knights are 2-0. And as you can see on that info card right there, you can follow us on Instagram, HF Viking Baseball. We post lineups, final scores, other cool graphics like that. But the Vikings have now had their first loss on the year. It was going to happen eventually, but you never want it to happen to a conference opponent. So, for everyone here at HF Viking Baseball, I'm Dylan Barnes. Good night, everybody.